Hello everybody, welcome back to another debug console tutorial video for the Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. If you haven't seen any of the previous videos, I recommend going and watching those before this one. But we're going to talk about a couple of unique ones today. We're going to talk about the achievement command, the debug command, the costume test command, and then also a couple of other little commands that are not as useful. Let's hop right in. So the achievement command is actually pretty straightforward, and I would advise most people to not use this command actually. This will allow you to unlock any achievement in the game. You can actually fully get 1001% using this. It seems wrong to do so. I still haven't done the It's the Key achievement, but the ID for it is 327. So if I were to hit enter right here, it will crash my game. I'll have to reload it, but when I reload it, I will have given myself the It's the Key achievement. It just feels wrong to do this. I wouldn't recommend doing this to get your achievements, but if you're the kind of person that wants to cheat and be a little Cheeto eating, booger eating, Wheel of Isaac lover, then you are allowed to do that and get your achievements. I just wouldn't recommend it. Next, we have the debug command, and the debug command is probably one of the most fun to play around with in the entire game. We have 11 different debugs that we can put on, and they all do a bunch of unique stuff. So let's start with debug 3. Infinite HP. What does this mean? It means that no matter what, when we walk into enemies in this room, we're getting hurt, but we're not actually having any damage dealt to us. We're just, you know, a one-man eating crew of all of the enemies' damage here. We will never feel any pain as long as we have this debug on. Hell, we just glitched through a damn rock because of that. But pretty unique stuff, being able to do that. Let's turn off debug 3 and turn on a different one instead. Let's turn on debug 4. So what does debug 4 do? It's going to add 40 damage to our tiers, but it's not going to really show that we added 40 damage to our tiers. So we're going to be able to one-shot a lot of enemies in the game, even though it looks like we only have still our 3.5 damage, and our tiers look like they're, you know, super crappy and horrible. We're deceptively the most powerful human being in the game, which is pretty damn awesome, and a really fun one if you want to trick your friends or something by saying, hey, I bet I can kill everything on a run using only my base tiers, and then you start annihilating everything. I can see that being pretty funny here. So let's turn off that. What other debugs do we got? We got the show damage values. This is essentially the same as having Spider Mod, but it just looks a little bit different. So you can see that we're doing 3.5 damage to every enemy because our damage is 3.5. Pretty straightforward. Kind of cool to see. I like seeing what different damage combinations can do. It's just a great way of showing it. But once again, they added Spider Mod to the game, so it doesn't really have a major use because you can just do the exact same thing with Spider Mod. Let's turn off that one. That was 7. We can do debug 8. This is another really interesting one. So it's going to give our active item infinite charges. So if we use our go-to command that we talked about last episode and just go to our treasure room here, we can just spam spacebar and cycle through every damn item in the game. You can hear my clicking right here, but we're just doing a nice old D6 spam right now because we have infinite item charges. And this can be fun because you can try out a bunch of different combinations of items that are spacebar items and just see what infinite charges on them look like. There's some that are just super duper wacky, and I'm sure that you can have a lot of fun with that. What other debugs do we got? We got the high luck debug, which is another very interesting one. So this is going to give you plus 50 luck, which is a lot of luck, and it's going to make any luck-based items essentially procced every single time you do them. So like Evil Eye plus Loki's horns is going to make Evil Eye show up significantly more, and also make Loki's horns show up all the time. So this is a pretty cool one. I'd then like to maybe add in a brimstone or something on that, and then all of a sudden you can basically just call me Krampus, because every brimstone beam I take, every move you make, will be killing you. And it's just like a fantastic fun little synergy that you can get by having a ton of luck. Finally, the last one that I want to show you, besides Debug 11, which we saw in a previous video, it just shows the grid for where you can use grid spawn. But besides that, you just have Debug 10, which is quick killing everything. And every room you walk into is just going to insta-kill everything. It applies a lot of damage per tick to enemies, including fires as well, because they are an entity in the game. And it's just going to annihilate them, is all it boils down to. It's not very fun, but if you wanted to see just how fast you can finish an Isaac run, then I could see that being pretty useful there. Or say you wanted to farm greed tokens, and by greed tokens, I definitely mean Eden tokens. You could just sit there and teleport yourself to the lamb over and over and over, and do the Debug 10 to kill everything. But once again, would I recommend that? Probably not. Okay, let's look at the costume test command. So costume test is pretty straightforward. It doesn't take any parameters. Upon hitting enter, it just gives you a random costume based on a random amount of items, which can be kind of cool if that's something that you're into. So we just became Mario Tail Flaming Brimstone Demon Man. Pretty interesting. This doesn't give you the items, it just gives you the costume. We can do it again. We are the Electric Poop Man that wears a tie or something like that. Now we are the Greedy Eyeshadow King or something like that. It's just a very strange thing to do. I don't really see how this is useful, but people that like having different costumes in the game will find this incredibly fun to play around with. Kind of a unique one. We're also going to look at the time command, which is another pretty straightforward one. All you do is hit time. It tells you how long you have been on that run. So we've been on for 32 seconds and 83 milliseconds. If that is something that you are incredibly interested in. This does take into account whether or not we have paused time by being in the debug console. So if we stepped out of here and then did it again, you're going to see that about 0.5 seconds passed in the time that I did that. I could do this really quick, and we can see that about 0.1 seconds passed between that. It's just kind of interesting if that's something that you're into seeing, but I don't really see how that would ever be useful for anybody. And finally, our last thing to show you today is the list collectibles thing. So if we go into our item room here and we grab whatever this is, we got Compound Fracture. That's pretty damn good. Throw some Bone Tears. We could do a list collectibles, and it's going to tell us what we have and how many of them we have. So the D6 we have 1, and Compound Fracture we have 1. So just in case you wanted to see this, let's give item Steam Sale, for example, and then let's give it to us again here. And then let's do list collectibles. It's going to tell us that we have 2 Steam Sales, 1 D6, and 1 Compound Fracture. So all of this is documented in the game for you to see. We can also do, a good old classic give item meat, and then repeat that by 500, and then do a list collectibles, and you'll see that we have 501 meat, and then our 2 Steam Sales, a D6, and Compound Fracture. Pretty unique stuff just to see. It's just a better way of displaying what you currently have on a run than seeing this awful screen right there, where sometimes you can't even tell what the damn items are. Thank you for watching. If you guys enjoyed, remember to smack that like button. We'll be back shortly with another debug console tutorial video showing off some more awesome commands in the game. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.